My name is François Delahaye. I am, for the past 21 years, the general manager of the Plaza Athénée, and I became the chief operating officer of the Dorchester Collection in 2006. So the story is to take outstanding property, iconic, which are representing the country where they are located. For example, the Dorchester is so British. The Plaza Athénée is very French. The Beverly Hills is very Californian, not even American, Californian. And we represent in terms of decoration, in terms of service, uniforms, the food, decor, the best of what that area where the hotel is located, of the culture of the country where we are. So that's the aim of Dorchester Collection.
I understand.
So we are not standardized and the promise is not to make sure that we have the same bedrooms everywhere you go, but to ask you to participate on an experience who represent the country. For example, the tea at the Dorchester is the best tea ever. The drinks in California are representing the smoothie, they're representing the culture of California. It's because of the press. It's your responsibility.
Okay.
Let me take an example. If we spend 200,000 on a bathroom, the press will not talk about it. But if you have a young pastry chef who is doing a puff pastry, and it's a lady or it's a boy with tattoos, immediately you will get the cover of the New York Times. So it's because of the press that we have to look at story in order to enhance the country where we are. For example, at the Dorchester, we have a young chef, Tom, which is representing the British cuisine at its best. In Paris, we have a young chef, Jean Humbert, which is also representing the French cuisine, the roots of the French cuisine. We have a pastry chef at the Meurice, Cédric Grolet, which is quite famous in Japan, and he's representing the best pastry at its best, and he's young and he's appealing. Doing a bathroom is just normal. You know, there is no need to talk about it. But having a pastry chef, a chef or a lady pastry chef is something which brings notoriety and will also bring the French in the Parisian hotel, the British in the restaurants of Dorchester. So it will bring the people of the city, which means that when we have foreigners staying in our property, they will be surrounded by sexy ladies, handsome men at the Polo Lounge in Italy, with great people in the restaurants, in the bar during the fashion week. So it's representing through the food the elegance of the country. So it's make our place the place to be. I truly believe that the choice of an hotel is not because of the thickness of the marble or the gilt on the taps of the water taps, or on the gilt of the ceiling. The reason why our loyal clients, celebrity or not celebrity, are coming to our place, it's for the service. We at Dorchester Collection have been spending a lot of money on training in order to make sure that the personality of every individual is to please the guests. And the celebrities, like the others, are touched by that point. Having our best assets, it's our people. Our people make the difference. It's the waiter, it's the maid, it's the doorman, it's the people who really make the difference in our world of Dorchester. I would say 7 or 8 years ago, the Dorchester Collection decided to create the Academy. The Academy Dorchester is located at the head office. It's located outside of the properties, and it's supplying all the resources on training, individual training. It is so advanced that it doesn't provide only the Hotel of Dorchester outstanding trainings, but it also provides outstanding brands, like for example British Airways or Cartier or BMW, in order for those brands to participate and to enrich their own employee on how to welcome guests. When you buy a BMW or Rolls Royce, those employees who do the sales are trained by us. So it's not only good for us, but it's also so respected that those big brands are choosing us, the Academy, to train their own employees. Well, I think we're quite lucky there because the Beverly Hills, even the Principe di Savoia, the Eden, we had for more than 100 years already big suites, royal suites, presidential suites, and I've been known for that. And in those hotels, in those suites of those hotels, we had celebrities, head of states, country delegation of state delegation who stayed with us, who has been shot, where the head of state, even the emperor of Japan, stayed at some of our hotels, which show the level of quality service, but it's also giving to the hotel a soul. And we are at the Dorchester Collection having iconic hotel because of the personality of those guests who stayed with us and did give a little piece of that soul and build for 100 years for the Beverly Hills, for nearly the Dorchester. Now we're going to celebrate the 75 of the Palais. We did celebrate in 2011 the Plaza Athénée 100 years. So this is iconic. All those brands in the world, they were not created. Even the hotels were quite new. We have that soul, and the soul is very important. And when you go in those suites, for example, the presidential suite of the Principe di Savoia, the Queen of England stayed there. There is a piece of that soul somewhere, and when you go there, you experience that, you feel about that, and that's something that our competitors do not have, and we are very proud about that. Well, we have a system which have been done specially for the Dorchester Collection under the name of Nexus, who is helping the employee on the knowledge of each of our guests, on the preferences, on the allergy, on all those details of orientation and what they want, on their habits, if they drink coffee or tea, or if they don't like pineapples or they love sushi. So all those kind of things, we write them down, and we have a system to collect it from the employee, because the people who get the knowledge are the employee. It's not the general manager. It's not the corporate office. It's the employee. So Dorchester Collection created some tools for every single employee to report. For example, some guests only sleep in one side of the bed. So we register that to make sure that when they come back, we open the bed on that side, because we know that. So there is a lot of details which can go a little far. Sometimes we are taking pictures of the cupboards where the guests are having their belongings, and those pictures are kept to make sure that when they come back, the maid would unwrap the belonging that the guest left from the previous stay, in order to the guest to have the exact layout, because some of our guests are very particular. They pay a very big price, but they're very precise. And that Nexus system allowed us to really collect all those information in order to help internally our employee worldwide in every single Dorchester to get those information to be precise. We all the time did that because our guests are aging, our guests, and we want to make sure that the sons and the daughter of our loyal guests will come back and not go to somewhere else. So we have been seducing, maybe it's not the right word, sorry for my English, but making sure to seduce those young people with some tricks. For example, at the Plaza Athénée, we have an ice skating ring. We have an ice skating ring so the kids can introduce in the hotel. We also have some experience of making cooking lessons in the kitchen of the Principe di Savoia, where you can learn how to do a pizza. That's simple, but the child would remember that all his life, and he would come back because he did the pizza there, and he would remember. So we have little experiences to make sure that we seduce the young generation. Same thing with the hardware. We are making renovation after renovation. I would say we are completing a total renovation every 7 years, roughly, in order for the guests to have the latest TV sets, the latest appliance, the latest bathrooms. So we are spending a lot of money to make sure that we are not becoming a retirement house. So it's important that the spending on the hardware, because we spoke about the spending on the software because of the training, but on the hardware it is also done, even if we don't like to talk about it. But new restaurants, new chefs, when, for example, at the Plaza Athénée, we changed from Alain Ducasse to Jean Imbert, which was a big shock after 21 years, because the new generation, they want a young chef. They don't want a 60 years old chef. They want new food, they want new vibe. And this is our responsibility at Dorchester, to send that energy with young people at the desk, young people in our spa, young people, because that's what the people want, change. We want change. It's important to change. Absolutely. This is a very good question, because at the end of next year, we're going to open an hotel in Dubai. And Dubai is quite interesting, because I've been speaking about iconic hotels, landmark, heritage hotels in the past conversation. But in Dubai, we had nothing. It's created for nothing. So we had a brand new hotel with an outstanding architect there, with an incredible interior designer, and we are creating an iconic, because it's going to be iconic on the space. For example, the ceiling is going to be very high, the space is going to be high, the choice of restaurants is going to be important. So there is another way to be iconic, not only on the historical or the heritage part of it, but on the fact of having space, having an incredible location, having the possibility of surprising people who are very rich, who will come to Dubai and say, wow, what a space, and that's going to be the iconic part. Plus the service. And I come back to the service done by the academy, the Dorchester Academy, will provide to those employees an outstanding experience, and that's exactly what the guests would find. Of course, they would find the marble, the gilt, the whole experience on the hard stuff, but on the soft, that's where the Dorchester Collection is very strong and will show. It's going to be on the people side of it.